That's right!
Welcome to the Know, I'm Turney.
I'm Ashely Jenkins.
After months of swearing up and down that they don't care about where you play Oculus Rift games, Oculus has now instituted that dreaded three-letter acronym into their headset, DRM.
This new DRM came in the form of the 1.4 update this weekend, which now has the system running platform integrity checks to ensure that Oculus exclusive games are only running on a Rift rather than on other headsets.
Now, unfortunately for them, the update didn't go quite as planned, and it may have actually had the opposite effect, making it easier for people to pirate Rift games.
Well, so do we know that that was the intent then? Well, look, developers, this is why you don't do full DRM. Never go full DRM.
Never.
Only ends badly.
Yeah. We've got a debate on our hands about DRM, of course, now. Some are saying that it's up to the market to decide whether or not VR games should be opened, while others say Oculus is, of course, within its rights to protect its own platform as full.
Well, which, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I mean, it is kind of. But for how the update makes piracy easier than ever for the Rift, that requires us to go all the way back to April, when a tool called Revive made it possible for gamers to play Oculus Rift exclusives on the Rift's rival headset, the HTC Vive.
Revive was created by a developer calling himself Libra VR and was released on GitHub as a proof-of-concept compatibility layer between the Oculus SDK and OpenVR.
OpenVR is the open-source API used by other headsets like HTC Vive. So Revive was basically software that translated Oculus's SDK to OpenVR code so you could play games exclusive to the Rift on any OpenVR headset.
Now, to be clear, this wasn't actually a way to pirate games. You still had to own the actual game in order to make the hack work. And even then, the developer went out of its way in the first version to only support games that were on the Oculus Store for free, like Lucky's Tale or the Oculus Dream Deck.
But of course, that didn't stop Oculus from shooting the whole thing down, saying, "This is a hack and we don't condone it. Users should expect that hacked games won't work indefinitely." So I guess that was intentional.
Yeah,
That's pretty intentional.
Fast forward to update 1.4, where teams like Revive and others like it have prompted Oculus to say, fuck it, and add DRM to the whole platform.
Yeah, for Oculus's part, they insist that DRM is for good reasons, saying that it was added to curb piracy and protect games and apps that developers have worked so hard to make.
The company went on to add that this update wasn't targeted at a specific hack.
The problem is, pirating actually just got way easier thanks to none other than Libre VR, the very developer whose work they were possibly trying to squash in the first place.
As of this weekend, Revive has now been updated with a new fix that allows users to play totally pirated games.
Whoops.
Now, the kicker is that the only thing that made this possible was the newly implemented Platform Integrity Check, DRM.
So it's not really an integrity check. Gotcha. According to Motherboard, who spoke with Libre VR about the update, the new version of Revive now uses the same injection technique to bypass Oculus's ownership check altogether. By disabling the ownership check, the game can no longer determine whether you legitimately own the game.
So in updating their system to make sure you had a Rift to run the games before you played them, you actually created an environment for Revive where you don't need to even own the game to convert it to OpenVR.
Cool.
Good job.
Yeah. Should be noted here that Libre VR wanted it to go on record that he doesn't encourage that sort of behavior.
Yeah.
It's on the record. That means it's truth.
Yeah, you can't go after him now, guys. Come on. In a thread on Reddit, the developer said, "I really didn't want to go down that path. I still don't support piracy. Do not use this library for pirated copies."
Well, that'll smooth everything over. All this is made more interesting given that Oculus seems to have pulled a total 180 on DRM in the first place.
Back in December, founder Palmer Luckey said that it didn't matter to the company how you played Oculus exclusive games as long as you bought them in the Oculus Store.
He made these comments in a Reddit thread saying, "If customers buy a game from us, I don't care if they mod it to run on whatever they want." What?
Somebody said something, then they lied, huh? Luckey went on to add, "Our goal is not to profit by locking people to only our hardware." Come on. He went on to say, if it was, why in the world will we be supporting Gear VR and be talking with other headset makers? The software we create through Oculus Studios, using a mix of internal and external developers, are exclusive to the Oculus platform, not the Rift itself.
Well, that's a little bit different than how they're acting now, and really it seems to be kind of counterintuitive of Oculus anyway, considering the previous version of Revive still required ownership of games from the Oculus Store. that not anymore.
Nope. Of course, now it's not really the case with them being like, oh, just buy in the store. To be fair for Oculus, this isn't necessarily just about locking games to one headset, but more about protecting consumers from being exposed to bad hacks and shoddy ports that might ruin the experience.
And that still sort of jives with Lucky's December comments. He even said as much, mostly noting that the reason Oculus isn't totally open yet was because supporting every other piece of hardware and platform out there would be too time-consuming.
However, he did say they wouldn't close the Rift off, so you lied.
Well, except they didn't, because now it's opener than ever. Well, some
Thanks to
are.
hackers.
Well, I mean, it was an accident, but really,
He did.
I mean, it's just in the spirit, right?
Yeah.
Well, some are being hard on Oculus about changing their exclusive DRM tune, and platform exclusivity is a tale as old as time. It's very Disney. We deal with it in basically every other area of gaming, so it only makes sense that Oculus wants to protect their investment. Oculus Studios has funded more than 20 exclusive games for the platform so far.
Now, on the other hand, VR is still trying to find its footing, and the idea of closing off every platform could keep it from gaining traction. I mean, if Revive was taking off, it could be a sign that VR's early adopters and the market in general want VR to remain open, and that might be more important in the long term.
Well, Libre VR hopes as much. He said he would love to work with Oculus on a version of his software that doesn't enable piracy, but it's still up to them.
Like you said, he didn't want to have to go down this road.
That makes him sound like some weird vigilante.
But I think he is. He's a VR vigilante.
He's a Libre.
Okay, so what do you guys think of Oculus trying or so far failing at using DRM? Let us know in the comments.
And for future news about DRM gone bad, like this video and subscribe to the Know. Platform exclusivity is a tale as old as time. Oh, Fievel, where are you?
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, that was Beauty and the Beast. I was thinking,
I tried to save you.
No, it didn't work out at all. What was I thinking of? Fievel Goes West. What's up? Anyway.
And let's pick our favorite cheese.
Are you singing
Cheese!
about Fievel?